Part 65. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Did. Chapter 641. Many of the 5-star immortal and 6-star immortals of the 4 Alliance have been to the Abyss Plane, and it won't take them too long to adapt to the environment. A few months later, this group of people adapted to the environment of the Abyss Plane again. They accounted for 40%. The total number of 5-star and 6-star immortals who came here reached 10,000, and 40% is already a lot. Everyone, should we let this group of people go first? It will take a long time for the rest of the people to adapt to the environment of the Abyss Plane. Afra asked. In the past few months, Yechen naturally kept putting pressure on the Abyss City. He asked Lei Yuan, Emperor Zun and others to shout back. It can be considered. They are many people, and going to the Abyss City can greatly relieve the pressure on the Abyss City. Let them go. If the strong men of the Abyss Plane surrender, it will also be a troublesome thing. The other strong men spoke one after another. They have 4,000 5-star and 6-star immortals. Will there be any trouble when they go to the 5th heaven? Even though Yechen's system was powerful, in their opinion, it was good that Yechen could barely reach the 7-star immortal level in the 5th heaven. 4,005 and 6-star immortal level masters joined together, and their strength was extremely strong. That's it? Afra said in a deep voice. They quickly sent out this group of masters, and they quickly ascended. It didn't take long for them to reach the 5th heaven of the Abyss Plane. Yechen was not in the Abyss City, but he was now near the Abyss City, and these 4,000 masters immediately discovered him. Are they finally here? Yechen muttered in his heart. Since they are here, it means that the top masters of the 4-party alliance are also here. There are 5 and 6-star immortal level masters coming so soon, and there should be many 5 and 6-star immortal level masters who have not adapted to the environment. Yechen retreated silently, and he reached the 9th heaven of the Abyss Plane. If the 9-star immortal level masters of the 4-party alliance come here, more than 90% of them are likely to stay in the 9th heaven. Some of the 9-star immortal level strongmen who came here certainly haven't adapted to the environment here. They adapted quickly in the 9th heaven. Ling-er, although it is unlikely to sign in to get good things, it should be possible to sign in to get ordinary things, right? The environmental influence should still be there. Yechen asked in his mind. Yes, host. Yeah, Ling-er said. Ling-er, sign in 3 times without using any power. Yechen said. Yeah, Ling-er felt strange, but she immediately signed in 3 times for Yechen. The things she got by signing in were also immortal level things, but they were very ordinary. Among the 3 things, only one was a 2-star immortal level thing. The other 2 were only 1-star immortal level. Things of this level are trash to Yechen now. 3,000 such things are not as good as a 7-star immortal level treasure. For Yechen, a 7-star immortal level treasure can barely be seen. Ling-er, sign in 3 times. On the 2nd day, Yechen changed a place and said in his mind. 2 years passed like this. Yechen signs in once a day, and every day he changes his location at a distance. Yechen's eyes lit up after signing in again. This time, he actually signed in to get 2 2-star immortal items and 1 3-star immortal item. It's much better than usual. Are you close? Yechen's eyes flickered. He kept signing in just to find out where the strong men of the 4-party alliance were. It's impossible to succeed by sending messages to some strong men. Afra and the others wouldn't be that stupid. The method of signing in every day is a stupid method, but it is also an effective method. There are many strong men from the 4-party alliance, and they are strong. The range of their influence must be not small. As long as you reach that range, signing in can get better things. He found someone. In the blink of an eye, half a month passed. Yechen determined the location of the strong men of the 4-party alliance to a relatively small range. Found it? Yachen's eyes flickered. He searched carefully and spent another half a month to finally determine it. Afra and the others are now staying in a treasure. The treasure is a 9-star perfect treasure, belonging to Afra, but Afra has not had this treasure for long. This treasure can only barely show the strength of the 9-star perfect level. Normally, it is enough. But Yechen has already touched the vicinity, and Yechen has the top 9-star perfect level strength. Husband, do you want to attack directly? But the four-party alliance may have a large number of strong people coming, and we may not win. En Langxiu said. She and Zi Lanyan paused their training. Yechen calculated their strength. He, Xiaolu, Yanhuang Immortal City, Tongtian Sword Bamboo, and a 9-star Perfect Pure World Sunflower, and a 9-star Peak Pure World Sunflower. The system can also burst out 9-star perfect level attacks. Zi Lanyan and En Langxiu have the strength of the middle 9-star, but they can burst out the strength of the late 9-star. Zi Lanyan's system can also burst out 9-star late attacks. He also has some of the 7 or 8-star immortal level Pure World Sunflower and the sky-reaching Sword Bamboo. If they launch a sneak attack, the power they can burst out at the same time is extremely strong. En Lan Yin, we don't need to fight head-on to win. Just kill a few of them. Yechen said. En Langxiu and Zi Lanyan nodded. As long as Yechen decides to take action, they will take action together. This treasure has the breath of Afra. Afra is over here. Yechen's eyes sparkled. Now that Afra is here, Yechen feels that the chance of the Lord of Light being here is low. Since Afra is here, Aina should be too. Yechen secretly thought. He captured Afra and Aina earlier. Aina is Afra's subordinate and can be considered her friend. Basically, wherever Afra goes, Aina will follow. Linger, summoning Aina, there shouldn't be any problem, right? Yechen said in his mind. Aina is a mid-9-star cultivation level. Linger laughed and said, Host, don't worry, I have been upgraded before, and now I am much more powerful than before. In the past, I could summon a strong person in the mid-9-star stage. Yechen said, Linger, don't I think she is in a powerful treasure now? Go all out, don't fail to summon her. Okay. The system immediately activated the summoning ability. Yechen and the others were hiding, ready to take action at any time. In Afra's treasure, Aina stays in a house to practice. This house is a powerful treasure of her own. However, Aina currently does not allow her treasure to be fully defended. Not good. Aina was shocked. She sensed a powerful force calling her away. Her mid-9-star power was simply unable to compete with this summoning power. Madam, save! Aina shouted. But before she finished shouting, her figure disappeared. Not good. Although Aina didn't finish shouting, she still alerted Afra. There are enemies. Afra immediately informed the other strong men. Soon, about 49-star immortal level experts and more than 108-star immortal level experts arrived outside. They released a monstrous aura. Hiss. Yechen took a breath of cold air, and he immediately gave up the idea of taking action temporarily. There are so many powerful people coming from the light plane, the beast god plane, and the Senluo plane. Yechen shouldn't be too far away, everyone uses system attacks. Afra ordered immediately. Most of the 200 or so strong men have systems, and many of them have attack systems. Go to hell. Yechen, go to hell. 60 or 70 strong men used the system's attack power, but less than 10 of the attacks from the 9-star level system broke out. There are about 49-star immortal powerhouses like Afra, and only half of them have the 9-star immortal system. Only a small part of this half is attacking the system. What's going on? Not long after, Afra frowned. The system attack they unleashed did not hit the target. Linger, was it you? Yechen said in surprise. He is ready for the system attack, and he is confident that he can withstand it. But Afra's system attack failed, which was beyond Ye Chen's expectation. Ye Ling'er smiled sweetly and said, "Host, I am much more powerful than before. Xuanhuan Immortal City and others are also capable of condensing aura." Ye Chen's eyes lit up. In this case, Afra and the others must have thought that they were not nearby. They may still have a chance to take action. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Did. Chapter 642. Asshole. Afra was furious. They came over with many strong men, and Ye Chen actually summoned Ana. "Fellow deist Afra, should we move to another place or leave the abyss plane?" Tiger-devouring Heavenly Lord asked. Afra said solemnly, "Of course it's a transfer." Ana was summoned to leave. "We just left in despair. How can we lose face if word spreads?" Soon the 8-star level experts were taken away by Afra and the others. During the transfer process, the 8-star immortal powerhouses are low in strength and they tend to leave traces in this regard. The 9-star powerhouses will be much better. "Let's go." "Everyone calm down," Afra said in a deep voice. The other strong men nodded, and they immediately prepared to leave. And none of them were very vigilant at the moment. Ana was summoned away, but there was no response from their joint system attack just now. Ye Chen should be far away from here now. Ling'er, death attack target Afra. The rest of our forces attacked the Holy Punishment Supreme. Just when Afra and the others were about to leave, Ye Chen and the others took action. The strength of the Holy Punishment Supreme has not increased, and it is still at the peak level of 9 stars. Not good. Afra was horrified. The system's death force is the fastest. The distance was very close, and the power of death entered Afra's body crazily. Crazy about destroying Afra's vitality. "Help me!" Afra summoned in fear. It turns out that the death power of Ye Chen's system is very terrifying. After the system upgrade, although the intensity of the death power has not increased, it is more terrifying. Death force is tougher and more flexible. Under Ye Ling'er's control, those forces of death seem to come alive. Boom! The moment the power of death entered Afra's body, Ye Chen and the others also attacked. There are 5 9-star perfection level attacks, 1 9-star peak level attack, and 3 9-star late stage attacks, all very powerful. Damn it! The holy punishment is extremely terrifying. Afra encountered a powerful attack, and many more attacks came at her. He immediately helped Afra defend herself, but the subsequent attacks actually came towards him. And the attack power is extremely terrifying. The Holy Punishment Supreme's current defense is not even at the peak of 9 stars. How could it withstand such a strong attack? In a very short period of time, the Holy Punishment Supreme's defense was shattered by Ye Chen's attack. Receive. Powerful power entered the body of the Holy Punishment Supreme. Ye Chen immediately took the Holy Punishment Supreme into the Xuanhuan Eternal City. The Holy Punishment Supreme resisted the invading force with all his strength, and was completely unable to withstand Ye Chen's capture. Flash people. It's a long story, but from the time Ye Chen and the others took action until Ye Chen evacuated, the time was extremely short. Before the enemy could react, Ye Chen had already rushed far away. As soon as Ye Chen left, 100 and dozens of 8-star immortal level experts appeared in the next second, and a large number of 6 and 7-star immortal level experts also arrived outside. However, they failed to surround Ye Chen. They couldn't catch up with Ye Chen either. Afra and the others were originally at the 9-star perfection level of Afra, and their speed could barely compare with Ye Chen's. Now Afra has been hit hard. There is still a lot of death power raging inside her. Among the other strong men, Tiger-devouring Heavenly Lord has the strength of the 9-star perfection level, but he is only a little more powerful in terms of attack, and his speed is barely close to the 9-star perfection level. Friends from the Beast God plane and Senluo plane, have you seen it? The strength of the strong people in the light plane is just that, they are just useless. I advise you to take your people and leave the abyss plane and get out of the quagmire of war. Ye Chen's laughter rang out from the side of the powerful members of the Quartet Alliance. In this operation, he summoned Ana and captured the supreme punishment. Ye Chen was quite satisfied. Devouring their systems and their corpses is enough for Ye Chen's system to absorb a lot of power, and he should be able to sign in once. Afra, you strong men from the light plane had better not confront us again. I will not be merciful again. Holy punishment supreme, Ana supreme, they will all die. Afra's face looked extremely ugly. With the help of other strong men, the death power in her body was suppressed, but the death power still caused a lot of damage to her just now. Her 9-star perfection level strength is now only barely at the 9-star peak level. Ye Chen, you dare. Afra said with great anger. You should have their soul jade slips or something, right? You'll know soon. Ye Chen sent a message. He was already far away, but sending a message to Afra could do it. Puff. In front of Supreme Ana, Ye Chen directly killed Supreme Punishment. Although the Holy Punishment Supreme is an immortal level powerhouse, he is not in the plane of light now. It is basically impossible for him to be resurrected if he dies here. Ana's pupils shrank suddenly. Ye Chen said softly, Sovereign Ana, you can send a message to Afra. In addition, it will be your turn soon. You can give your last words. Ana Supreme's face turned pale. She quickly sent a message to Afra, Husband, Madam, Ye Chen killed the Holy Punishment Supreme, and he said he would kill me soon. I don't want to die. Ye Chen, don't kill Ana. You tell me what conditions you have. Afra's extremely angry voice sounded in Ye Chen's mind. He. In the future, I will never capture you alive again, I will only kill. Ye Chen sneered and said through the message. Puff. Ana Supreme was also killed by Ye Chen. Ye Linger quickly devoured the Holy Punishment Supreme, her body, and their systems. Ye Chen. Afra, on her side, was furious. Ana was not only her subordinate, but also her friend, and she died here. The possibility of resurrection is extremely slim. Fellow deist Afra, what should we do? Should we retreat first? The Supreme Tiger Devourer spoke. They lost 2 9-star level experts. Moreover, Afra was also seriously injured and her strength was greatly reduced. The loss was not minor. Of course, the losses are all from the light plane, not the beast god plane and the Senluo plane. No. Afra snapped. Let's retreat, Ana, and the Holy Punishment Supreme will die in vain here? We can mobilize more powerful people, but we must not retreat. Tiger Devourer Supreme said, Fellow deist Afra, Ye Chen actually quietly touched our side, and he can summon our strong men away. Even if we change places, Ye Chen may come near us again. Afra thought for a while and said in a deep voice, let's go to Abyss City first. Ye Chen can't possibly track us to Abyss City, he doesn't have the guts. Tiger Devourer Supreme and the others considered for a while and nodded. If you don't want to evacuate the Abyss Plane, going to Abyss City is a better choice. They now have 4,000 strong men in Abyss City and have taken control of the situation there. There are also 6,005 6-star immortal level experts beside them. Even if those people are not fully adapted to the environment of the Abyss Plane, they are still extremely powerful. In the distance, Ye Chen sent a message to Afra again, but the message failed. Have you left the Abyss Plane? Ye Chen secretly thought. He felt that this possibility was not very likely. After suffering such a big loss, and having suffered losses at his hands before, Afra should not leave easily. If they hadn't left, then there was a high possibility that they would go to Abyss City. I just don't know if they will just put down some of the 5 and 6-star immortal level experts, or if they will stay in Abyss City next. Ye Chen secretly thought. Afra can recover in Abyss City, but the recovery speed will be much slower. Immediately Ye Chen also left the 9th level. In the 5th level, he was very strong, and he reached Abyss City faster than Afra and the others. 2 hours passed, and Ye Chen noticed the approach of thousands of strong men like Afra. Afra and a group of 9-star immortal level experts are inside. It seems likely that they will not leave the Abyss plane for the time being. Ye Chen secretly thought. If we just put down those 5-star immortal and 6-star immortal experts, Afra does not need to send them to Abyss City. Just send them to the 5th heaven. Soon Afra and the others entered Abyss City together and did not leave immediately. Finally, all this time has been spent in vain. Soon a smile appeared on Ye Chen's face. Xiaoliu hasn't adapted well yet, so they can take action tomorrow. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Did. Chapter 643. In the blink of an eye, it was the next day, and Afra and the others did not leave. The limit of the 5th heaven and earth is 5-star perfection. In their opinion, they have so many 5-star level strong men, what can go wrong? How could they know that Xiaolu actually merged the plane token of the Abyss plane, and Ye Chen and Xiaolu could reach the peak strength of 8 stars here? And Langxiu and Lanyan's strength can also reach the initial level of 8 stars. Xiaoyan, you spread quietly and circle the Abyss City to the Yanhuang Immortal City. Ye Chen ordered. Outside the Yanhuang Immortal City, Ye Chen and his strength is much weaker. Okay, Master. Xiaoyan responded. Ye Chen said, if you alarm them, you will spread instantly. Yes. Yanhuang Immortal City can change in 1,000 ways. It approaches the Abyss City, and then surrounds the Abyss City and gradually wraps up the entire Abyss City. With the support of Ye Chen and Xiaolu, Yanhuang Immortal City now has the power of the peak level of 8 stars, which is almost 3 major realms stronger. In this situation, the chance of being discovered by Abyss City and the strong men in Abyss City is very low. Half an hour later, Abyss City has completely reached Yanhuang Immortal City, but the strong men in Abyss City still don't know. The power of Xiaolu and I at the peak of 8 stars is 80 to 90 times that of 5-star perfect level strong men. Xiaoyan can suppress it. Xiaolu and I can capture 10 5-star immortal level strong men in an instant. And Lan and Lanyan, it won't be a problem for them to capture 7 or 8 together. Ye Chen thought to himself. There are a total of 59-star immortal level strong men in Abyss City. They can capture more than half of them in an instant. With 2 shots, they can capture all the 9-star immortal level strong men in Abyss City. Ye Chen quickly arranged the task. Do it. At the same time, Ye Chen, Xiaolu, and Langxiu, and Lanyan all took action, and Yanhuang Immortal City put pressure on Afra and others. Collect. Ye Chen and his men's domineering power directly received all 27 9-star immortal level masters including Afra into the space treasure. Afra and the others were imprisoned separately. Afra and the others also sensed the terrifying aura released by Ye Chen and the others. Resist, die. The moment they were captured, Ye Chen's cold voice sounded in Afra and the others' minds. They were not temporarily imprisoned in their cultivation. If they all resisted, it would bring Ye Chen and the others a lot of pressure. Collect. Afra and the others were captured, and some other masters in the Abyss City noticed the abnormality, but they had no time to react, and Ye Chen and the others attacked again. The remaining 20 or so 9-star masters, as well as some 8-star perfect masters were also captured by Ye Chen and the others. Defense, defense. Everyone defend with all your strength. Enemy attack. The Abyss City was in chaos, and many masters shouted wildly. No one escaped from the Abyss City. If they were in the Abyss City, so many masters could not resist, and escaping from the Abyss City would be meaningless to them. Stop resisting and surrender. Afra and the other 59-star immortal level warriors have all been captured. Ye Chen's voice resounded throughout the Abyss City. Many warriors in the Abyss City looked extremely ugly. They didn't know at this moment that the Abyss City had already reached the Xuanhuan Immortal City. Puff. 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 Inside Ye Chen's space treasure, a few warriors tried to kill their way out of Ye Chen's space treasure. He didn't show them any courtesy. Ye Chen killed them directly. And the scene of killing them was seen by Afra and the others. Resist, die. Friends from the Beast God Plane and Senluo Plane, don't make mistakes. Ye Chen's cold voice sounded. Only 2 warriors from the Beast God Plane and Senluo Plane took action, and Ye Chen didn't kill them. When they heard what Ye Chen said, they stopped immediately. Damn it, damn it. Afra and other warriors from the Light Plane were extremely angry. Several 9-star immortal masters died in their Light Plane. And without the support of the Beast God Plane and Senluo Plane, it is impossible for them to fight their way out. Banned. Banned. The power of Ye Chen and his team quickly imprisoned most of the cultivation of Afra and his team. In this situation, even if they wanted to resist, they were completely powerless. Ye Chen gathered the masters of the Beast God Plane and Senluo Plane. My fellow Taoists, at present, there is no blood feud between our Xuanhuan Plane and your Beast God Plane and Senluo Plane. You still have a chance to withdraw. I will give you a choice: persuade the masters of your Beast God Plane and Senluo Plane in the Abyss City to surrender, or you die. Ye Chen said calmly. After you die, your people in the Abyss Plane will probably not be able to escape, and the strength of your plane will drop sharply. Even if our Xuanhuan Plane loses in the end, the strength of your Beast God Plane and Senluo Plane will drop sharply, and the plane ranking will also drop. Your relatives in your own plane may not have a good life either. The strong men in the Beast God Plane and Senluo Plane were silent. Ye Chen said, you can send a message to me to confirm your choice. You have 3 breaths to consider. 3 breaths is only about 10 seconds. Soon all these strong men sent a message to Ye Chen to confirm their cooperation in surrender. They don't want to die. And if so many of their strong men died here, it would have a huge impact on the plane. Very good, you all chose to surrender. Next, you will send a message to the strong men from the Beast God Plane and the Senluo Plane, asking them to gather and choose to surrender. Ye Chen said softly. In the Beast God Plane and the Senluo Plane, you look at me, I look at you, and soon they all summoned the message, and the message was sent to many people. A large number of strong men from the Beast God Plane and Senluo Plane quickly gathered in Abyss City. What's going on? You want to surrender? In Abyss City, the people in the Light Plane and the Abyss Plane were a little panicked. Take it. Take it. Ye Chen, Xiaolu, and An Langxiu took action again. Many 8-star immortal level powerhouses disappeared from the Light Plane and the Abyss Plane. Damn it! What's going on? Why can't I resist it? The large number of powerful people in the Light Plane and the Abyss Plane in Abyss City were extremely horrified. Ye Chen's voice echoed throughout Abyss City. People from the Light Plane and the Abyss Plane, listen, you can also choose to surrender. As Ye Chen spoke, a terrifying fog appeared around Abyss City. Boom! Boom! Many strong men from the Light Plane and the Abyss Plane rushed out of the Abyss City, but they disappeared completely after rushing into the fog. Peng, peng. The strong men who rushed into the mist soon came back, but they turned into corpses one after another. The corpses fell heavily into the city. It is difficult to capture alive, but easy to kill. Ye Chen and the others can kill hundreds of 5-star immortals in an instant. There are a large number of light planes in Abyss City, and the strong men in the Abyss Plane are extremely afraid. Just when they were afraid and hesitant, many 8-star immortal level experts were captured by Ye Chen. You can't escape. Even if you run outside the abyss, can you escape with your speed? Ye Chen's faint voice sounded. Listen to the strong men from the Beast God plane and Senluo plane. After 3 breaths, you will help kill the strong men from the Light plane and Abyss plane who have not surrendered. Those who kneel down will be deemed to have surrendered. Afra's bitter voice suddenly sounded in Abyss City. All the strong men in the Light plane should surrender and don't sacrifice in vain. The one who can talk is actually not Afra, but Enlangxiu pretending to be her voice. But it is enough for the strong people in the Light plane. What they need now is just a step up. They will not investigate whether it is true or false. Everyone in the Abyss plane, listen, surrender immediately and unconditionally. The voice of Lei Yuan Emperor, Deep Sky Supreme, sounded. A few seconds passed, and a large number of strong men from the plane of light and the plane of abyss knelt on the ground. Most of them do not have 5-star immortal cultivation. All people in the light plane and the abyss plane listen, and your cultivation will be imprisoned. Ye Chen ordered. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Di. Chapter 644. In the Abyss City, many strong men from the Light Plane and the Abyss Plane hesitated. But the rest of the strong men quickly imprisoned their cultivation. In this situation, they knew that if they continued to resist, they would have a high chance of death. The chance of surviving by surrendering should be higher. But how could they know that Ye Chen's system had been emptied now? If Ye Chen wanted to sign in with the system, his system would have to devour them. Collect. Collect. A large number of strong men who had imprisoned their cultivation were quickly received by Ye Chen into the Yanhuang Immortal City, and they were all separated. Alas! Many strong men who had not yet imprisoned their cultivation could only helplessly imprison their cultivation. In the case that a large number of strong men had surrendered, if they continued to resist, the chance of death could be said to be infinitely close to 100%. Collect. Not long after, all the strong men from the Light Plane and the Abyss Plane had their cultivation imprisoned, and they were all captured by Ye Chen. People from the Beast God Plane and Senluo Plane, you should also restrain your cultivation and surrender first. Whether you can live in the future depends on your choices in the future. I think your master should be a smart person. Ye Chen's voice sounded. The strong men from the Beast God Plane and Senluo Plane also restrained their cultivation. They had much less resistance in their hearts. In their opinion, they did not have much blood feud with the Yanhuang Plane and Ye Chen, and their planes could completely withdraw from the 4-party alliance. Soon, the strong men from the Beast God Plane and Senluo Plane were also collected by Ye Chen, and the entire Abyss City became empty. Ye Chen breathed a long sigh of relief. A smile appeared on his face. This situation was much smoother than Ye Chen expected. The strong men from the 4-party alliance here have all been dealt with. The offensive and defensive situation changed. As many of Afra and his strong men were taken down by him, the Abyss Plane had no power at all, and the 4-party alliance went directly to one side. It is entirely possible to get the Beast God Plane and the Senluo Plane to withdraw through negotiations. Whether to continue to target them in the future depends on Ye Chen's mood. If the 4-party alliance progresses smoothly, some other planes may also help the 4-party alliance. In this situation, they will definitely not participate. It is very likely that the next enemy is only the Light Plane. Although the strength of the Light Plane is very strong, can it still maintain the offensive after losing many strong men like Afra? For safety reasons, the best choice for the Lord of Light is defense. His strength in the Light Plane is much stronger than in other planes. Before the action, I used the Yanhuang Immortal City to cover the Abyss City. It is very likely that the current situation here has not been spread. Ye Chen's eyes flashed. In other words, he may still attract some strong men. If the Lord of Light can be attracted, it would be best to kill the Lord of Light here. Go. Ye Chen's mind moved, and the 4 swords of Xuanhuan arrived outside the Abyss City. Boom! The terrifying aura spread out, and the Xuanhuan sword formation covered the entire Abyss City. Abyss City is now empty, but there are still some people near Abyss City. What's going on? Such a strong aura. 8-star aura, it should be the early or middle 8-star. Some people near Abyss City were extremely shocked. Ye Chen burst out with a strong aura, but he did not burst out the 8-star peak aura, that would be too much. More than one person quickly spread the news from Abyss City. The news will definitely spread outside the Abyss Plane. The Lord of Light will get the news. The 4 swords of Xuanhuan cover the Abyss Plane. If it is not certain that Afra and the others have been in trouble, the 4-party alliance is likely to rescue them. Everyone pay attention, Afra and the others have all been captured by the seed. Half an hour later, Ye Chen collected the 4 swords of Xuanhuan, and his voice spread far away. The place where Abyss City was originally located became empty. The entire Abyss City has disappeared. If it is false, it is real, and if it is real, it is false. He said this, and the strong men of the 4-party alliance may believe that he did not capture Afra and the others. The reason for saying this is to prevent the strong men of the 4-party alliance from rescuing him. Without delaying in the 5th level, Ye Chen reached the 9th level of the Abyss Plane. He arrived at Liwen City. The environment here is good, and Lanxiu and the others can practice faster. More importantly, there is an 8-star immortal check-in point here. He can accumulate strong luck here. Remove your system. Under the 200 million times time acceleration, Ye Chen asked Afra and the others to remove their systems one after another, and these systems were swallowed by Ye Ling. Ye Chen's system, which was originally hollowed out, became stronger again. Not to mention the strong men below 9 stars, there are nearly 50 systems among the 50 or so 9-star strong men of Afra and the others. Only a few of Afra and the others do not have a system. Afra and the others who were captured by Ye Chen before and lost their systems also have new systems. The Beast God Plane and the Senluo Plane are likely to choose to retreat at that time, but the probability of the 1st and 2nd planes participating will increase. Ye Chen said in his heart. The strength of the 1st and 2nd planes is much stronger than the light plane. Originally, they were rivals, and even the light plane could not be compared with them. They may not want a new challenger to appear. With the current resources, Linger can be upgraded again. But the strong men rescued by the 4 alliances are likely to come within 2 years. It's not suitable for Linger to upgrade for the time being. Ye Chen thought to himself. He began to practice silently, while accumulating luck. As Ye Chen expected, the news spread outside the Abyss Plane. After about half a year, the news spread to the Light Plane, the Beast God Plane, and the strong men in the Senluo Plane also received the news. Damn it! The Lord of Light looked extremely ugly. He couldn't believe it. The 4 alliance had more than 59-star immortal level strong men over there, and something went wrong. Lord, Abyss City is in the 5th heaven, and we have many strong men over there, so there shouldn't be any big problems for the time being. The Supreme Saint said. Theodore frowned and said, there are so many strong men in the Abyss Plane, why no one rushed out, why no news came out? Master, there may be a problem over there. The Supreme Saint said, Ye Chen has the strength of an 8-star immortal level. He should have the means to block the news and prevent it from spreading out of the Abyss City. As for why no strong men rushed out, it is very likely that one of our important strong men fell into his hands, and the rest of the people were threatened. Some strong men around nodded. The Supreme Saint's explanation makes sense. Ye Chen has the strength of an 8-star level, and it is entirely possible to take down several top strong men such as Afra and Tiger Roaring Heavenly Venerable. If the other strong men rushed out, Ye Chen would kill them. In this case, the strong men of the 4-party alliance may be afraid to act rashly. The Lord of Light walked back and forth, his brows furrowed. The current situation made him very entangled. If only a small number of strong men like Afra were captured, they would need to send people to rescue them as soon as possible, and most of them could be rescued. If all the strong men fell into Ye Chen's hands, the abyss plane would be a huge trap, and the strong men in the past might also be in trouble. To rescue or not to rescue is a question. Theodore frowned secretly. If he wanted to rescue, he would probably lead the team. He actually didn't want to lead the team to rescue people now. Theodore, take some people to rescue. Bring more 4, 5, and 6-star strong men. Before going, go to the beast god plane and Senluo plane first, and be with them. The Lord of Light said in a deep voice. He still decided to rescue. If he didn't rescue, and it took too long, Afra and the others might all be captured by Ye Chen. The four-party alliance would collapse. They in the light plane might have to face Ye Chen and the Yanhuang plane alone. And then they would have to change from the current offensive to the defensive. Theodore didn't want to do it, but he could only nod helplessly. As the Lord of Light has absolute authority in the light plane. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Did. Chapter 645. 2 years have passed. Many powerful people from the light plane, the beast god plane, and the Senluo plane arrived outside the abyss plane. Theodore came naturally. There are also very powerful characters coming from the beast god plane and Senluo plane. A total of 30 or so 9-star immortal level experts came over. The four-party alliance has now entered a state of war and unleashed its war potential. There have been many more 9-star level experts in the 3 planes. You should enter the space treasure first. Theodore said solemnly. He has the perfect strength of 9 stars, and the most powerful among the other strong men only have the peak strength of 9 stars. The other 9-star immortal level experts nodded, and they all disappeared. Theodore quickly entered the abyss plane. Reached the 9th heaven. Everyone, please hurry up and adapt to the environment here. Theodore said. Some of the 9-star immortal level experts who came before had never been to the abyss, and this was especially true for the second batch of experts who came over now. It can take as short as 4 years or as long as 10 years to adapt to the environment. Fellow deist Theodore, someone needs to go over there to check the situation. Said a strong man at the peak of 9 stars in the beast god plane. Theodore nodded slightly. He sent out 100 men. They only have a cultivation level of 4, 5, or 6 stars and have been to the abyssal plane. They can go to the 5th level to check. After the people were dispatched, Theodore himself quickly moved. It didn't take long for the hundreds of people from the Quartet Alliance to reach the 5th level of the Abyss Plane, and they headed to the direction of Abyss City with anxiety. Where is Abyss City? Why is Abyss City missing? They arrived at the place half a day later. There is no longer any Abyss City in place. They looked around and found nothing. Half a month passed in the blink of an eye, and there were no problems with these hundreds of strong men, and no strong man came out to deal with them. What do you think this is going on? Theodore asked. They got the message. The Holy Word Supreme also came over. He frowned and said, Fellow deist Theodore, I don't think Ye Chen has solved them all. There are so many of us, not to mention that Ye Chen is only at the early or mid 8-star level. Even if he is at the peak of the late 8-star level, it is unlikely. A strong man from the beast god plane said, I feel that in this situation, there is a high probability that Ye Chen will move with Abyss City. He's probably trying to catch more people before we find him. His system has the ability to summon, and he may use it every 2 or 3 years. Many strong men around nodded. Theodore said, Everyone, what do you think? We should continue to stay here to adapt to the environment and then look for it. Most of the people nodded. The Supreme Holy Word sighed softly, Fellow deist Theodore, there are certain risks when we search here, but deist Afra and many of his powerful people have been captured, can we ignore it? If we don't take action, maybe we will follow Ye Chen's wishes. We can't bear the loss of many strong men here. Theodore was irritated, he didn't feel good. But what the Supreme Holy Word said makes sense. If Yechen really lets Yechen take down Afra and the others, the strength of the light plane will be greatly reduced. Their interests will also be greatly damaged by then. In the future, the bright plane may only be able to guard 1/3 of its own land. Everyone should take the time to adapt. Theodore took a deep breath and said. Half a year passed in the blink of an eye, and Yechen opened his eyes. Zi Lanyan sent a message to him, saying that his cultivation had reached the 8-star perfection. Lanyan, seize the time to consolidate your cultivation. Yechen said with a smile. Zi Lanyan asked curiously, husband, has Enlan made a breakthrough? Enlan made a breakthrough 3 months before you, and now he has consolidated his cultivation. Yechen smiled. Originally, given Enlangsu and Zi Lanyan's situation, they would need more time to reach the 8 stars and complete their cultivation. But in recent years, Yechen has allowed them to enjoy a billion-fold time acceleration. Have money and be willful. After capturing so many powerful people like Afra, Yechen gained a huge amount of resources. It's worth spending several times more resources to get Enlangsu and the others to improve their cultivation faster. Ling sign in 3 times. How much system energy is consumed is up to you. Yechen said in his mind. After signing in here for a long time, the accumulated luck has become very strong. As for the strong men, Afra and a large number of strong men are now in the Yanhuang Eternal City. He should be able to sign in and get good things. Yalinger said, good host. Sign in successfully, congratulations to the host for obtaining the 9-star perfection level strengthening order. Yechen's eyes lit up. Good thing, this kind of treasure can make one of Enlangsu Zi Lanyan's treasures reach the 9-star perfection level. When Enlangsu reached the peak of his 8-star cultivation, his combat strength was in the mid 9-star stage. Now that he has completed his 8-star cultivation, his combat strength is still in the mid 9-star stage. The reason is that the treasure is not strong enough. From Afra and the others, Yechen got very powerful treasures, but those treasures were not so easy to identify. Enlangsu and the others are also used to using the original treasures. For them, it would be best if they could upgrade the original treasures. As long as their treasures reach the 9-star perfection level, their combat power can reach the late 9-star level. Sign in successfully, congratulations to the host for getting the 9-star perfection level strengthening order. Another treasure like this. Yechen said with a smile, Ling you understand me. You know that such a treasure is not easy to distribute. I give you a thumbs up. He, host, I have become stronger, so my autonomy has improved. Yalinger said. Sign in successfully, congratulations to the host for upgrading the Immortal Soul Tower to the 9-star perfect level. Yechen's smile became even deeper. Comfortable. All 3 rewards are 9-star perfect level, much better than the previous 1-star and 2-star rewards. The system still needs energy. It turns out that when the system is emptied, the things signed in are really bad. 9-star perfect level Immortal Soul Tower, not bad. Yechen said in his heart. Enlangsu and Zi Lanyan are acting here, and Yechen is still a little worried. It is very difficult to revive them if they die here. With the 9-star perfect level Immortal Soul Tower recorded in their spiritual consciousness, if something really happens, the difficulty of resurrection will be reduced by thousands of times. In this way, it will be possible to resurrect them in the future. Onlan, Lanyan, you guys stop practicing, what treasures do you want to strengthen? You can strengthen it to 9 stars. Yechen sent a message to Onlangsu and the others. Onlangsu said, husband, I am the elder sister, give the opportunity to Lanyan first. Zi Lanyan also sent a message, husband, I am the younger sister, I will be in line later, this time, give the opportunity to sister Onlan first. Yechen asked Onlangsu and Zi Lanyan to come in front of him, and he smiled, you let me, I let you, what are you doing? Your husband can't feed you all together. The two women rolled their eyes at Yechen coquettishly. Hurry up and choose your treasures, everyone has a share. Yechen said with a smile. Anlangxiu and Zi Lanyan quickly chose the treasures they wanted to strengthen. They all chose their own attack treasures. This is more important. Ling strengthen Anlan and the others. And then strengthen the immortal soul tower. Yechen said in his mind. Anlangxiu and the others quickly continued to practice. Yechen went to the fifth heaven. He found something unusual when he arrived at the Abyss City. He left a special formation here. The formation has no attack or defense power, but it can record the breath of the strong here. Yechen set it to only record the breath of the 5-star immortal level strong. People from the 4 alliances have come. Yechen muttered in his heart. From the strong people from the light plane, the beast god plane, and the Senluo plane, Yechen has now obtained a lot of information about the 3 planes, including which strong people are in their planes. Yechen now knows more than 99% of the information about the immortal level strong. The earliest one was the breath left half a year ago. It seems that the strong people from the 4 alliances have not been here for long. Yechen said in his heart. He knew that most of the strong people from the 4 alliances must not have adapted well to the environment of the Abyss Plane. As long as they are found, their good days will be over. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Did. Chapter 646. 3 years later, Yechen smiled. He left Yanhuang Immortal City in other places, and Afra and the others were inside. He searched for Theodore and the others alone for 3 years. Finally found them. Theodore and the others hid well, but Yechen asked Yeling to sign in every day, and it was only a matter of time to find Theodore and the others. Without taking action immediately, Yechen left quietly. He took Yanhuang Immortal City back, and returned to Theodore and the others the next day. Somewhere in the 5th heaven, a loud voice came from afar. Listen, the strong men of the 4-party alliance, the people of the beast god plane and the Senluo plane, it is best to withdraw from the Abyss plane immediately. Otherwise, the strong men of your plane will suffer huge casualties. If you don't leave, this seat will kill many of your strong men within a month, and you will receive their bodies. There are naturally many people with lower strength in the 5th level of the Abyss plane. Of course, they heard what Yechen said. The news spread quickly. Not long after, the 100 or so strong men of the 4 alliance in the 5th heaven got the news that they had arrived at the 9th heaven. The news also spread quickly in the 9th heaven. Even if these 5-star immortal level strong men did not contact Theodore and his men, Theodore and his men also got the information in this regard. Yechen watched quietly nearby. The news was naturally spread by him. Controlling individuals to spread the news, with Yechen's current strength, it is easy. After receiving such news, the new strong men should not be indifferent. If such a situation really occurs, there will be strong men from the beast god plane and the Senluo plane who will die. As long as Theodore and his men come out of the hidden treasure, Yechen and his men can easily attack Theodore and his men. In the treasure, Theodore and his men gathered and argued endlessly. Some proposed to take some actions now and send people to the 5th heaven. They still have some strong men who have adapted to the environment here. Some think that they can't act for the time being and wait until all of them have adapted to the environment. The strong men in the beast god plane and Senluo plane were more in favor of taking action now, as they did not want their own planes to suffer great losses. Okay. Theodore said helplessly. Some strong men in the light plane also agreed to take action, and most of the strong men in the beast god plane and Senluo plane agreed to take action. The strong men who agreed to react now accounted for the majority. Soon Theodore and his men selected about 1,000 people. More than half of them had the strength of the 5-star immortal level, and some of them had the strength of the 6-star immortal level, and their strength in the 5th heaven was not bad. Be careful. Don't stay in the 9th heaven, Theodore said in a deep voice, and he asked all these strong men to go outside. The 1,000 strong men who went outside left quickly, and Yechen did not target them. 5 minutes later, Theodore and his men did not notice anything unusual. Theodore and a dozen other strong men who had adapted to the environment here went outside. This place has been exposed, so of course they have to change places. You should immediately send a message to these strong men. As long as they resist or fight back, you will definitely die. They can't escape either. Yechen's voice rang in the minds of many strong men in the Beast God Plane and Senluo Plane, and Yechen allowed them to send messages to the outside world. Kill. While they sent the message, Yechen, Xiaolu, Yanhuang Immortal City, Tongtian Sword Bamboo, and 2 Pure World Sunflowers all attacked. And Langxiu and Zi Lanyan also attacked. They used forbidden techniques, and their attack power temporarily reached the peak of 9 stars. Zi Lanyan's thunder system also exploded, and its power was also the peak of 9 stars. There is only one target, Theodore. Although Theodore has the strength of 9 stars, his cultivation is only at the peak of 9 stars. Now he has to face 5 attacks of 9 stars, and 4 attacks of 9 stars. Help me. Theodore's soul was surging. While he was desperately resisting, he immediately sent a message to the other strong men to ask them to help. But at this time, the strong men in the Beast God Plane and Senluo Plane received messages from many strong men in their own planes, asking them not to resist. Yechen and his men attacked Theodore crazily. It's over. Such a thought popped up in Theodore's mind. The strong men in the Beast God Plane and Senluo Plane were clearly ready to attack at any time, but they did not attack under such circumstances. His defense was barely at the 9-star perfect level, and he could not withstand such a strong attack at all. Now, other strong men in the void took action. Light purification. The strong man who took action was the Lord of Light, who had a 10-star immortal system. This system was a purification system that could use the power of light to purify everything in the world, including the enemy. He followed Theodore and his men here quietly, and Theodore and his men did not know. Now the Lord of Light chose a good time, just after Yechen took action. At this time, the defense was the weakest. The Lord of Light's own light power, mixed with the power of the purification system, killed Yechen together, with extremely powerful power. The power of the Light Lord's purifying world system has exploded. Now it is more than 9-star perfection. His system is not weaker than Yechen's system. The terrifying attack came very quickly. The moment Yechen and his team's attack invaded Theodore's body, the power of the Lord of Light invaded Yechen's body at a very fast speed. With this attack, the Lord of Light was sure to kill Yechen. Unlike Yechen's system, the Lord of Light's system is a pure attack system. As long as Yechen dies, the rest of the power controlled by Yechen will immediately become a tree without soil and a source without water, and will not be able to be exerted. It's done. The Lord of Light clearly felt that his terrifying power had invaded Yechen's body. The power of the system also killed in. His attack power did exceed Yechen's defense power. In an instant, Yechen's breath disappeared, and the substitute puppet in his body exuded the same breath as Yechen. All the terrifying attacks were directed at the substitute puppet. The substitute puppet of the 9-star perfect level firmly bore all the attack power. Crack. The substitute puppet was destroyed. Ling attack the Lord of Light. Yechen said in his mind. In order to be on the safe side, he did not let the system use the power of death just now. Okay. Ling immediately launched a death attack. Yechen's system is not a special attack system, and the system attack is weaker than the system attack that the Lord of Light just launched. But it is definitely at the 9-star perfect level. And after all, it is a system attack, and such power is not easy to resist. The Lord of Light resisted part of it, and a large amount of attack power entered his body. Damn it! The Lord of Light used a special treasure, and he instantly moved away. He actually failed to kill Ye Chen, and Ye Chen attacked him. The strong men in the Beast God plane and Sen Luo plane did not make a move. This situation is not right. Summon. Ye Chen tried to let Ye Ling summon the Lord of Light, but failed. For the time being, the strength of the Lord of Light has not fallen, and it is still at the 9-star perfect level. With the current ability of his system, it is impossible to summon a strong man at the 9-star perfect level. It's a long story, but in fact, all this happened in a very short time. The strong men in the Beast God plane and Sen Luo plane were stunned. Theodore died, and the Lord of Light escaped. Everyone from the Beast God plane and Sen Luo plane, you helped to capture the strong men from the Light plane, but the Lord of Light has escaped. You should know how to choose. Ye Chen's voice rang in the minds of many strong men from the Beast God plane and Sen Luo plane. Supreme Saint Word, you can't escape. Do you want to try? While transmitting the voice, Ye Chen's eyes fell on the Supreme Saint Word. He is the strongest in the Light plane. The Supreme Saint Word smiled bitterly. He wanted to escape, but his speed was not as good as the Supreme Saint Word. He might be able to escape by using forbidden techniques at a longer distance. He is now next to Ye Chen. As long as he escapes, Ye Chen and his dozen terrifying attacks will immediately fall on him. Supreme Saint Word, surrender. A strong man from the Beast God plane said. It is indeed better to surrender now. A strong man from the Sen Luo plane also spoke. The Supreme Saint Word nodded helplessly. The Beast God plane and the Sen Luo plane are both on the opposite side. How can they fight? As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Did. Chapter 647. Supreme Holy Word, you must imprison your cultivation immediately. I will give you 3 breaths of time. Anyone who fails to imprison your cultivation after the time will die. Ye Chen said murderously. The Holy Word Supreme sighed secretly. When it fell into Ye Chen's hands, he felt a little unlucky. What might be done? Theodore died, the Lords of Light were injured and fled, and most of the remaining 9-star immortal level experts have not adapted to the environment. His strongest strength is only at the peak of 9 stars. If you choose to escape, you will die immediately. Soon the Holy Word Supreme and the others imprisoned their own cultivation, and Ye Chen easily caught them all inside the Yanhuang Eternal City. Fellow deist Ye Chen, can you please let go of our strong men from the Beast God plane and Sen Luo plane? We will no longer be enemies with you. A strong man from the Beast God plane cupped his hands and said. They were also panicking now. The strength is not as good as human beings. It would be fine if they all adapted to the environment here. The problem is that most of the strong ones have not adapted to the environment here. The strongest one is only the 9-star peak. Even if he escaped to the plane outside the abyss, he could not escape Ye Chen. I won't limit your cultivation, but you must first enter the treasure in this space. Then you will need to kill some people from the light plane. Otherwise, I don't have to worry. Are you cooperating with the plane of light? Ye Chen said in a deep voice. In the Beast God plane and the Sen Luo plane, Ye Chen has considered killing them in the past. However, the consequences of doing so will be great and will be detrimental to the Yanhuang plane. Destroying the Abyss plane, destroying the Light plane, and also destroying the Beast God plane and the Sen Luo plane together, the performance was too cruel. Several of their planes also have planes with slightly better relationships. If we kill them all to death, what will the strong men from the other planes think? The Yanhuang plane may be isolated. It would be better to turn the anti-Beast God plane and Sen Luo plane into enemies of the Light plane. Okay. Can. The strong men from the Beast God plane and Sen Luo plane discussed secretly and nodded. Asking them to leave directly, they felt that Ye Chen was not so kind. In the past, they might not have dared to kill strong men in the light plane, but now the strength of the light plane has been greatly reduced. There is also a great enemy in the Yanhuang plane. Ye Chen's ability to restrain their cultivation is quite good. Soon, many strong men from the Beast God plane and Senluo plane entered the Yanhuang immortal city. Ye Chen quickly asked 100 strong men who had been imprisoned in the light plane to come to them. These people were all at the 7-star immortal level. You 8 9-star immortal level experts, please kill one each first. It's voluntary. If you don't want to kill, you don't have to. Ye Chen said calmly. There are exactly 100 strong people at level 8 or 9 in the Beast God plane and Senluo plane, and each person can choose one. Ye Chen, we in the light plane still have strong strength. Ye Chen, what do you want to do? These strong men from the light plane screamed in fear. Ye Chen was too lazy to talk nonsense with them, and he had nothing to say to the dead. The strong men from the Beast God plane and the Senluo plane quickly stood up, and they all took action and killed all the targets. Well, many strong men sighed secretly. After killing so many powerful people in the light plane, it is absolutely impossible for them and the light plane to get together in the future, and the hatred may continue to deepen. Fellow Taoists, please take a good rest first. The bodies of these powerful men, including the systems where their deaths appeared, are useful to me, but we can't handle so many in a short time. I will need your help in the future. Ye Chen said. A strong man from the Senluo plane said, Fellow Daoist Ye Chen, where are the other strong men from our Senluo plane? Can we let them join us? Ye Chen shook his head, they have adapted to the environment here and are very strong. I don't want to cause trouble for myself. Don't cause trouble for yourselves either. Next, you strong men from the Senluo plane and the Beast God plane will be separated. Ye Chen said as he quickly moved the strong men from the Senluo plane and the Beast God plane to 2 different areas in the Yanhuang Eternal City. In this case, they cannot agree to mess around together. Alone, they absolutely do not have such strength. Some of your strong men have gone to the 5th level of the Abyss plane. I am now going to the 5th level of the Abyss plane. You ask where your people are. Ye Chen sent a message to a powerful man from the Beast God plane. It didn't take long for Ye Chen to reach the 5th level of the Abyss plane. Some of the powerful people in the Beast God plane have a powerful communication system, and it is easy for them to contact their 5th level people in the Abyss plane. Receive. There are more than 1,000 people here, most of them are from the Beast God plane and Senluo plane, and there are only 300 to 400 people from the light plane. It was easy for Ye Chen to deal with them. It's a long story, but in fact, it didn't even take half a day from the time when the Lord of Light escaped to when Ye Chen caught these guys. The Abyss plane is finally cleaned up. What a great victory. Ye Chen had a smile on his face. All the powerful people from the Abyss plane here have been eliminated, and he has also captured many powerful people from the light plane here. Theodore died, the Holy Punishment Supreme died, Afra, the Holy Word Supreme and many other powerful people were captured. The Lord of Light was severely injured by him. A large amount of death power has poured into the body of the Lord of Light. The strength of the Lord of Light should temporarily fall to the 9 stars perfection. Even if he has left the Abyss plane, even if he rushes to the light plane at full speed, it will definitely take him more time to get to the light plane. Ye Chen's eyes sparkled. The plane of light is now empty. Break. Ye Chen arrived outside the Abyss plane and rushed to the light plane as quickly as possible. Ye Chen is strong, Yanhuang Eternal City, Tongtian Sword Bamboo, etc. are also powerful, and they can continuously provide help to Ye Chen. Even if the Lord of Light is not injured, his speed may not be as fast as Ye Chen's. At my current speed, it will take about 2 months to go to the plane of light. The Lord of Light is injured and his strength has declined. He cannot move forward at full speed yet. He will need at least 2.5 months. Yechen secretly thought. 2 months passed in the blink of an eye, and Yechen arrived at a plane very close to the plane of light. The strength of this plane is quite average, there is no master, and the plane is ranked after 500. Ling use the 9-star immortal level check-in point. Yechen said in his mind. He also has a 9-star immortal level check-in point. Using this, he can directly teleport to other nearby planes. Of course, the teleportation location must also be the 9-star immortal level check-in point. Good host. The 9-star immortal level check-in point was quickly arranged. Ling can I be teleported directly to the 9-star immortal check-in point in the plane of light now? Yechen asked. A possible host. Linger said with a smile. Then teleport. Yechen calmed down and said. The next second his figure disappeared, and a few minutes later he appeared inside the plane of light. Outside the plane of light, there are now very powerful people secretly watching to see if any strong people come to invade the plane of light. There is a high chance that Yechen will be discovered if he gets close. But the powerful man who was following him didn't know that Yechen had already entered the light plane and had already adapted to the environment of the light plane. Now he has quietly entered the plane of light. Are we in the light plane? The Holy Word Supreme and some other powerful people noticed something strange. There was horror in their eyes. Nothing good will happen to Yechen when he goes to the light plane. Yet there was nothing they could do. Their cultivation levels are tightly imprisoned and cannot be broken. Husband, my strength has dropped a lot. En Langxiu said in a message. Yechen smiled and sent a message to her and Zi Lanyan. The plane of light is the top 3 planes after all, and the rules of heaven and earth are powerful. It's normal for your strength to be reduced a lot. My strength is not affected. En Lanyan, please hurry up and adapt to the environment here. The next second, Yechen's extremely powerful aura filled the entire Yanhuang Eternal City. Fellow Taoist from the Beast God plane and Senluo plane, we are now in the light plane. But don't get any ideas. Yechen's voice sounded. If you don't warn them, they might think that an opportunity has come and join forces to deal with him. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Did. Chapter 648. Many strong men in the Beast God plane and Senluo plane were shocked. Their cultivation was not imprisoned. They had also been to the light plane and had long adapted to the environment of the light plane. I really had such a thought in my mind just now. When did Yechen come to the light plane? It should have been a long time ago. He had been rushing to destroy the light plane. Many strong men in the Beast God plane and Senluo plane discussed secretly. Knowing that Yechen also had the strength of the 9-star perfect level here, their little thoughts immediately disappeared. The Lord of Light must not have come back now. I will go directly to the Holy City of Light. Yechen's eyes flashed. The Holy City of Light is the largest city in the light plane. The Lord of Light has a higher chance of appearing here, and many strong men in the light plane are here. The light plane is very large, but with the strength of the 9-star perfect level, Yechen rushed to the Holy City of Light in half a day. The Holy City of Light is not in a defensive state now. Even if the 4 alliances declared war on Yechen and the Yanhuang plane, who could have thought that Yechen could enter the light plane silently? The Holy Punishment Supreme is dead, and the Holy Word Supreme has also been captured. Now there is only one 9-star peak level strongman in the Holy City of Light. Yechen thought to himself. The other party is the Holy Flame Supreme. He has the strength of the 9-star perfection level in the Holy City of Light. Most of the time, the Holy Flame Supreme guards the Holy City of Light. I have adapted to the environment here, but the Yanhuang Immortal City and other things are not obtained here. It will take some time to adapt to the environment. Yechen thought to himself. At present, only he and the systematic death attack can burst out the power of the 9-star perfection level. Fellow deists, I have to trouble you for a favor. You and I will attack the Holy Flame Supreme together. Is there any problem? Yechen said to the strong men of the Senluo plane and the Beast God plane. Their faces changed slightly. Running to the light plane to kill the Holy Flame Supreme is equivalent to declaring war. Daiyu Yechen, we have killed quite a few people from the light plane. A strong man from the Beast God plane said. At first, they killed about 100 people. Later on the way here, they killed many more. The total number of strong men from the light plane who have been killed has exceeded 1,000. Yechen smiled and said, everyone, since you have killed quite a few, it will be good for you to continue killing them all. Otherwise, if our Yanhuang plane no longer targets the light plane, the strength of the light plane is still very good, and you will be embarrassed. How about this? Kill the Holy Flame Supreme and the other strong men from the Holy City of Light, and you will each get 20% of the benefits here, and I will get 60%. Or you can stop attacking him and attack me instead, so that you will successfully offend two powerful planes. The strong men from the Beast God plane and the Senluo plane discussed secretly and quickly. That's it? When will we start? The strong men from the Beast God plane and the Senluo plane said. They really have no way out, they have killed many strong men from the light plane. Moreover, Yechen gave up 40% of the profit. Although they could only get 20% each, the profit on the side of the Holy City of Light was huge, and 20% was not a small amount. There is one more point. Although Yechen discussed with them, in fact, if they did not obey, Yechen could force them to execute it forcefully. In the Beast God plane and the Senluo plane, there are still many strong men whose cultivation is imprisoned by Yechen. Even if they succeed in killing Yechen, those people will die. A wise choice. Everyone, ignore the others and concentrate on taking down the Holy Flame Supreme. Yechen smiled. He did not say to kill the Holy Flame Supreme. It is better to let him be seriously injured and then summon and capture the Holy Flame Supreme. On the side of the light plane, the Holy Flame Supreme can be resurrected in the future even if he dies. Okay. The strong men of the Beast God plane and the Senluo plane said. Many of their 7, 8, and 9-star level strong men are ready to act. Kill. It is no secret to Yechen where the Holy Flame Supreme is. As they approached, Yechen and many strong men from the Beast God plane and Senluo plane joined forces to attack, and dozens of attacks fell madly on the Holy Flame Supreme. Yechen also used the system's death attack at this time. Not good. The Holy Flame Supreme's soul was surging, and he sensed the terrifying power coming. However, it was useless. Yechen and his attacks were much faster than the Holy Flame Supreme's escape speed. The huge attack force madly poured into the Holy Flame Supreme's body. The Holy Flame Supreme was severely injured in an instant. Summon. Yechen immediately asked the system to use the summoning ability. The Holy Flame Supreme was severely injured and his strength was greatly reduced. In addition, he had to resist the violent power in his body, so he could not resist the power of summoning. In the blink of an eye, the Holy Flame Supreme arrived in the Yanhuang Immortal City. Imprison your own cultivation, you may survive. Otherwise you will die. Yechen said coldly. In the Yanhuang Immortal City, the Holy Flame Supreme could no longer increase his strength, and his strength was greatly reduced, and he had fallen to only the middle stage of the 9 stars. The power in his body was still raging, and his strength would decrease rapidly. Boom! The Holy Flame Supreme actually chose to self-destruct in an instant. He also launched his system's fatal attack through self-destruction. The Holy Flame Supreme's cultivation level fell to the middle stage of the 9 stars, and his self-destruction only had the power of the late 9 stars. The fatal attack of the system had the power of the perfect 9 stars. But this is not a big deal for Yechen. The place where the Holy Flame Supreme is now is surrounded by a large number of strong men from the Beast God plane and the Senluo plane, and they have formed a series of defenses. Boom! Dozens of layers of defense were destroyed, and the power of the self-explosion was completely resisted. The attack from the Holy Flame Supreme system was also weakened a lot. It is impossible for the remaining power to kill Ye Chen. Quite smart. Ye Chen muttered in his heart. With the strength of the Holy Flame Supreme, it will take a long time for him to revive after the self-explosion, but he may still be resurrected in the end. As long as the bright plane is not controlled by Ye Chen in the future, he still has hope. Enemy attack, enemy attack. In the outside world, the strong men of the bright plane naturally found something wrong. Everyone, kill freely. If you show mercy to the bright plane at this time and don't suppress it severely, the bright plane will not be polite to you in the future. I will not be polite to you either. Ye Chen said. He asked a large number of strong men from the Beast God plane and Senluo plane to go outside. At the same time, Ye Chen's 4 swords of Xuxian surrounded the entire holy city of light. Kill. The strong men from the Beast God plane and Senluo plane began to kill frantically. They had already killed the Holy Flame Supreme here, and they no longer had any luck in their hearts. They could only go all the way to the end. Surrender is good. If you want to leave the holy city of light, you will die. Ye Chen's cold voice echoed throughout the holy city of light. If you don't want to die, don't resist when I take you in. Ye Chen quickly took many strong men into the Yanhuang immortal city. They may be resurrected in the future if they die in battle, but as long as they die, there will inevitably be various problems, and some of them still have luck. Don't surrender, fight to the death. If you surrender, they are likely to kill us in the light plane. Many strong men in the holy city of light shouted. Most of them fought desperately, but it was useless. How many top strong men can there be in a city of the holy city of light? There are many strong men from the Senluo plane and the Beast God plane who are taking action at this time. Not long after, the entire holy city of light turned into a scorched earth. Except for some people captured by Ye Chen, the rest of the people from the holy city of light have died. Most of them do not have immortal level cultivation, so they are dead. Beast God plane, fellow Taoists from the Senluo plane, you did a good job. Ye Chen smiled. Many strong men from the Beast God plane and the Senluo plane have complicated expressions. Originally they were allies with the light plane, but now they are slaughtering the strong men from the light plane. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Dit. Chapter 649. Everyone, don't act like this. You don't have an arrow to turn back when you shoot your bow. This is a plain war. Ye Chen said in a deep voice. His body exudes murderous intent. Let's spread out our operations and fight to the rest of the light plane, killing all the immortal and immortal powerhouses you encounter. A strong man from the Beast God plane said, fellow Taoist Ye Chen, if we continue, the system administration will probably intervene and sanction us. Ye Chen sneered, when the Yanhuang plane was attacked, did the system administration intervene? The Beast God plane smiled bitterly and said, fellow Taoist Ye Chen, this is different. The Lord of Light is the Supreme Elder of the System Management Bureau. There are only 4 Supreme Elders in the System Management Bureau, and the Masters of our Beast God plane are just ordinary Elders. Although the Yanhuang plane was quite strong back then, there was no Master of the Yanhuang plane. According to the rules of the System Administration, planes without a Master cannot join the System Administration. A strong man from the Senluo plane said, fellow Taoist Ye Chen, you should be the Master of the Yanhuang plane now, right? But even if the Yanhuang plane has a Master, you have not yet joined the System Administration. The Lord of Light has the status of Supreme Elder in the System Management Bureau. Ye Chen's eyes sparkled. This System Management Bureau is very similar to an organization on Earth. The difference is that the Yanhuang plane has not joined the System Management Bureau, let alone the Supreme Elder, and the Red Flame plane has not joined either. In the conflict between me and the plane of light, the system administration will definitely intervene. Ye Chen said in a deep voice. The strong man headed by the beast god plane nodded. Fellow Taoist Ye Chen, there is a high probability that he will intervene. I didn't pay attention to it before, because the light plane had the upper hand, but now the light plane has fallen to an absolute disadvantage. If we stop now, the System Management Bureau may not take action. If we don't stop, both Plane 1 and Plane 2 may take action. At this moment, two strong men flew over. They exuded a powerful aura. These are two 8-star immortal figures. Ye Chen looked over. The two strong men who flew over quickly approached Ye Chen and the others. One of the strong men said proudly, Ye Chen, I am Lord Kuru, the envoy of the plane of order stationed on the plane of light. The plane of order is the second plane. This is the plane of creation, Saint Lot. The other strong man said with an indifferent expression. The plane of creation is plane number 1. Ye Chen said quietly, what do you two have to say? Demon Lord Kolo said in a deep voice, Ye Chen, as the envoy of the plane of order, I now order you to stop the killing on the plane of light immediately. Saint Lot said quietly, release the captured strong man from the light plane. Ye Chen laughed angrily. The light plane sent many strong men to invade. They did not appear when they targeted the red flame plane. Nothing happened to them when they massacred the Yanhuang plane before. Now it appears. Although the plane of creation, the plane of order, and the plane of light do not wear the same pants, they will also have mutual interest impulses. But when other planes pose a challenge to them, they immediately unite. On the surface it is to maintain order, but in reality it is to safeguard their interests. Ye Chen took a step forward, and a terrifying aura burst out from his body. Go back and tell your master, I, Ye Chen, have nothing but a strong backbone. When my strength was still low, I dared to face the abyss plane and the light plane. Now I have reached the 9-star perfect strength. If the plane of creation and the plane of order want to target me and the Yanhuang plane, all you will get is death and blood. Lord Kuru and Saint Lot were shocked. As messengers from the plane of creation and the plane of order, even if the Lord of Light is polite to them, why are they being targeted like this? Ye Chen, don't make a mistake. Ye Chen, don't think how great the Yanhuang plane is now. The two said angrily. Ye Chen said with a cold expression, I know that your plane is much stronger than the plane of light, but so what? We don't care about life and death. If we don't accept it, we will do it. You can go now. If you say one more thing, don't blame me for being rude. Ye Chen's body released strong murderous intent. Demon Lord Kolu and Saint Lot were annoyed, but under Ye Chen's cold gaze, they still did not dare to say anything more. Soon they left. The strong man headed by the beast god plane smiled bitterly and said, Fellow Taoist Ye Chen, it is really not a wise choice for you to provoke the plane of creation and the plane of order. A 9-star immortal powerhouse from the Senluo plane said, the plane of order is a little better, but the strength of the plane of creation is unfathomable. Ye Chen said with an indifferent expression, I have worked hard to cultivate to this point, why do I still have to kneel down and speak? Everyone, let's not scatter. Let's gather together and attack the rest of the plane of light. Kill it and turn the world upside down. You can be said to be forced by me to investigate the plane of creation and the plane of order. Either you suffer huge losses, or the light plane suffers huge losses, you choose. The strong men in the beast god plane and Senluo plane are helpless. Ye Chen is so tough when facing the envoys from the creation plane and the order plane. If they don't obey, they will definitely not get any good results. Jointly target Ye Chen? It may not be possible to kill Ye Chen. They still have many strong men in Ye Chen's hands, and there are more than 29-star level strong men. Even if none of the powerful people outside them die, as long as those people captured by Ye Chen die, the strength of their plane will plummet. Good. Okay. The strong men from the Beast God plane and Senluo plane nodded in agreement. You enter this space treasure first. Ye Chen said. It didn't take long for Ye Chen to take them to another city. Kill. As time passed, the killing continued. Every day in the light plane, no one knows how many powerful people are captured or killed by Ye Chen and the others. Ye Chen didn't show any mercy. This is a plane war. When the light plane and others were targeting the Yanhuang plane, they killed countless powerful people in the Yanhuang plane, and the Yanhuang plane almost collapsed. The ranking in the Yanhuang plane plummeted from 9th to over 2,800. The plummeting ranking represents the huge casualties in the Yanhuang plane. Run, run away. Escape from the plane of light. The news of Ye Chen's killing spread wildly throughout the light plane, and many strong men from the light plane fled from the light plane. The Lord of Light is gone, the Holy Flame Supreme and others have been killed, and Afra and the others have also appeared. Now the strength of the light plane is at a low point. At the beginning, not many strong people escaped from the light plane because they were afraid that they would be killed faster if they escaped outside. But after many strong men fled and they found that there was no danger, many strong men fled. Ye Chen and the others actually killed less than a quarter of those who escaped from the strong. Although the escaped strong men are still alive, they have already escaped and are missing. They can no longer do anything to the plane of light. It would have been good for Ye Chen and the others to kill the strong men they captured, but the losses in the light plane were already huge, and with the strong men who escaped, the losses were extremely staggering. It's been half a month. Calculating the time, if the Lord of Light moves forward at full speed, he should be back soon. Ye Chen secretly thought. Everyone, the Lord of Light is returning soon. Let's hide and adapt to the environment first. Ye Chen said in a deep voice. He allowed the strong men from the Beast God plane and Senluo plane to enter his treasure space. Then he arrived at the 9-star check-in point in the plane of light. Next, you have to accumulate good luck and sign in here. As long as I stay in the Empress Palace, I am invincible. Author, New Did. Chapter 650. Time passed day by day, and the Lord of Light did not return to the plane of light immediately. Injured and with his strength reduced, the Lord of Light was worried that Ye Chen would rush in front of him and wait for him to fall into his trap at some checkpoints. The Lord of Light is not too worried about the plane of light. In his opinion, although Ye Chen is strong, can Ye Chen secretly enter the plane of light? Even if he is not here, there are still some strong people in the light plane. Ye Chen's strength will be greatly reduced when he enters the light plane, and his strength will be suppressed to 6-star perfection or early 7-star level. There are also strong people outside the light plane. As long as Ye Chen gets close, he will be discovered. When Ye Chen enters the light plane, the powerful people in the light plane will search and capture Ye Chen with all their strength, and Ye Chen will definitely be found. In addition, from the perspective of the Lord of Light, if Ye Chen enters the plane of light, isn't he worried that he will regret it? As long as he, the Master, returns, Ye Chen's strength will be greatly reduced, and entering the light plane is courting death. Half a year passed before I knew it. The Lord of Light came out of the time treasure, and he let out a sigh of relief. After practicing in the time treasure for half a year, he finally recovered. The death attack of Ye Chen's system caused considerable damage to the Lord of Light. Ye Chen, I will fight you until death. The eyes of the Lord of Light flashed coldly. Although he suffered a big loss, the Lord of Light does not think he has lost now. He has recovered, and there are still many strong men in the light plane. The light plane can continue to unleash its war potential. Go back to the light plane first. At that time, we will seek the support of the creation plane and the order plane, and together we will punish the Yanhuang plane. The Lord of Light secretly thought in his heart, and he headed to the plane of light as quickly as possible. A few days passed, and the Lord of Light arrived near a more dangerous level. There are often some strong people gathered near such a level, and they will unite to pass. Everyone, do you have any news about the plane of light recently? The Lord of Light approached and asked. He changed his appearance. The news of suffering a big loss at Ye Chen's hands may have spread, and he couldn't afford to lose that person. One of them looked at the Lord of Light, who released an 8-star immortal aura. In the plane gap, the 8-star immortal level experts are already very strong, and most of the active ones only have 7-star immortal level cultivation. Brother Deo, I know a little bit about the latest news about the plane of light. I heard that some powerful people from the plane of creation and the plane of order have arrived near the plane of light. But they have not entered the light plane for the time being. Sensing the aura released by the Lord of Light, a strong man immediately spoke. The Lord of Light was shocked. Have the powerful men from the plane of creation and plane of order passed by? This situation is not normal. The plane of creation and the plane of order generally do not participate at all, and their relationship with each other is only so good. Although the light plane has suffered considerable losses, it does not seem to have reached the point where it needs active help from the creation plane and the order plane. Something happened in the light plane. The Lord of Light said in a deep voice. The other party was stunned and said, "Fellow Taoist, you probably don't know the news in the past 6 months or so, right? The plane of light has been miserable recently. Ye Chen and many strong men from the Beast God plane and Sen Luo plane were killing people in the light plane. Many people died in the light plane. There are more powerful people from the light plane who have chosen to leave." The face of the Lord of Light turned ugly. The other party said coquettishly, "Fellow Taoist, you are not from the light plane, are you? I have also heard about it, but it may not be true." The Lord of Light took a deep breath and said, "How about the Holy Flame Supreme? Dead, dead. But he should have died in the plane of light, and may be resurrected in the future." The other party felt a little uneasy in his heart. The face of the Lord of Light became even more ugly. The Supreme Holy Flame is actually dead. The Holy City of Light must have been attacked, and the rest of the strong men in the Holy City of Light must have suffered as well. Damn, damn. The Lord of Light cursed in his heart. The Holy Flame Supreme dies, their light plane, the 9-star peak of their light plane, and he is the only one left among the 9-star perfection level experts. What strength does Ye Chen have inside? The Lord of Light said in a cold voice. 9 stars are perfect. I heard that he has entered the light plane a long time ago and has already adapted to the environment there. The Lord of Light is furious. Instantly, a dazzling white light was released from his body, and the white light fell on several nearby 7-star immortal powerhouses. They were all wiped out. Ye Chen. The Lord of Light roared with rage. He continued to rush to the plane of light. In less than 2 months, the Lord of Light arrived outside the plane of light. He saw a large number of powerful people coming from the plane of creation and order. Lord of Light, you are finally back. There is a strong man in the creation plane who speaks, and he possesses the 9-star perfection level strength. Warlord. The Lord of Light nodded. He has had many dealings with the opponent, and the War Master is very strong. Venerable Xuanhuan. The Lord of Light looked at a strong man coming from the plane of order and said hello. The other person was a woman, now in human form. You're so useless. Venerable Xuanhuan said softly, with some mockery in her words. In the past, the Lord of Light fought against the Venerable Xuanhuan. The plane of order ranked second, and he also fought many times with the plane of light, which ranked third. The Lord of Light suppressed his anger. Venerable Xuanhuan has always been like this, and now is not the time to fight Venerable Xuanhuan. Xuanzun, Venerable Xuanhuan, how many strong men have you brought here? Are you planning to enter the light plane and adapt to the environment inside? The Lord of Light said. He has always not allowed the powerful men from the creation plane and the order plane to enter the light plane, which poses a threat to the light plane. Xuanzun said, Lord of Light, there are many of us, will you let us in? The Lord of Light had a gloomy face. He had always prevented them from entering before, but now he needed them to enter the light plane to help, which made him quite embarrassed. Please trouble everyone. The Lord of Light took a deep breath and said. He is the Lord of the plane, and his strength inside the light plane is very strong. He can deal with several 9-star perfect strong men alone. But this is not enough. Even if Ye Chen and the others are discovered, with his strength and the current strength of the light plane, it is difficult to take down Ye Chen and the others. Moreover, since Ye Chen has the strength of the 9-star perfect level, even if he is much stronger than Ye Chen inside, it is difficult to find Ye Chen. He needs help. Venerable Xuanhuan snorted, we won't help you for free. After killing Ye Chen, his things will be taken by our order plane and creation plane 40% each, and your light plane 20%. After all, the Lord of Light is the Lord of the planes, so they still saved some face. Okay. The Lord of Light gritted his teeth. Most of Ye Chen's resources came from their light plane, but 80% would be divided out at that time, and the Lord of Light was extremely depressed. But he has no choice now. Some of our strong men will go in, and some of them will block the light plane from the outside. Xuanhuan said. Soon many strong men from the creation plane and the order plane entered the space treasure of the Lord of Light, and they arrived inside the light plane together. There are still many strong men outside the light plane. This time, 70 or 89 star immortals came from both the creation plane and the order plane, and there were even more 7 and 8 star immortals. Half of them entered the light plane. There were still 70 or 89 star immortals, 4 or 508 star immortals, and 3007 star immortals outside. Such strength is extremely terrifying. When the war potential was not used, the entire light plane had less than 59 stars.